Easter Show. And this is our first rider from Denison, just out of Sale in Victoria. This is Ali Lamb. She rides Denison Park Combat. This course, it's one round against the clock. Winner of the class will be the horse rider combination with the least number of penalties and the quickest time in the first round. Length of the course, 78, so 450 metres. Time allowed, 78 seconds. A rail down, we get 4 jumping penalties. A clear round, stays on the best score of 0, and that'll be how our winner is declared. The course is designed by Mr. Werner Deeg. We welcome our first horse on course. This is Ali Lamb, Denison Park Combat.
Well, that beautiful riding pony there, our champion under saddle, Newington Tinkerbell, and our reserve champion, Nottingham Love Song, making their way out of the arena. What a beautiful class that was.
Well, safely over the final fence, those 2 rails down, 8 jumping penalties, 79.28, 79.28. The 2 rails down, plus over the time allowed of 78 seconds by 1.28 seconds, so 1 time penalty, 8 jumping penalties, a total of 9. Well, next out into the arena, we welcome the second of our competitors. This is number 8 in the catalogue, number 2 in the draw, Clint Beresford from Murray Bateman, and he is riding SL Donato. Well, welcome to all those watching on our live stream. Hope you're enjoying the action. You should come down to the Sydney Royal Easter Show because it is the best place to be to watch all of the competition throughout the entire event. Well, Clint Beresford deciding, by the look of that, today not the day, with a couple of rails down and a disobedience. He who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. And unfortunately for him, not feeling great on SL Donato out there, so retires from the competition. Next out into the arena, we welcome number 3 in the draw, Chris Jug, and he is riding PSS Levelinski. So Chris Chug, he's on course over the first fence and underway. This is our third competitor out here. Ali Lamb, the only rider to have crossed the finish line thus far. First afternoon of our Group A Section 1 horses. These are the best in the business. This class out here is built at an international level, $1.50 to $1.55 in height. And in fact, we've got a couple of verticals pushing closer to $1.60. So nicely through the combination. We've got 2 combinations on this course, 6A, 6B. Through the second of that, 10A, 10B. Comes down to the final fence. Safely on the last. Stops the clock, 68.60. No jumping penalties, no time penalties, and all clear for Chris Chug and PSS Levelinski. Well, next out into the arena, we welcome the next of our riders, number 4 in the draw. This is Russell Johnson, and he is riding Deprice. So Russell Johnson and Deprice, the combination on course. So for him to take the lead, he now needs to jump clear, quicker than a time. 68.60, that of Chris Chug. 68.60 is the time for the new benchmark. Comes up to the first of our combinations of 6A, 6B. Now up to the second of our combinations, 10A, 10B. This course designed by international course designer, Mr. Werner Dieg from Germany. 2 fences left to go. Clear at this stage. Time to beat, 68.60. Safely on the last. Stops the clock, 71.67. All clear. No jumping penalties, no time penalties, and into second place. So why is he into second place, I hear you say? Because his time isn't quite as quick as Chris Chug and PSS Levelinski. So we always use penalties and then time. So if someone does a quicker round but has rails down, they'll go down the leaderboard. We always use those penalties first. Penalties are incurred if you knock a fence down, if you exceed the time allowed. So you can knock the whole fence down, or you can knock just that top rail. These fences, as we said, built on an international level at up there at 1.50 to 1.60 in height. And a couple of our verticals, that lighthouse fence at fence number 8, they tell me is about 1.58. So when you jump at the Olympics, you jump 1.50 to 1.60. So we are seeing a very high standard of show jumping here this afternoon. This is the first day these horses have seen the competition. The first 4 days of show jumping was all our junior and young rider competitors, the next generation. Now we move in to the real deal. These are our international level standard of riders. And we welcome out one of the best in the business, Talara Cameron, number 5 in the draw, number 17 in the catalogue. And she is riding Copperbella Verde. Copperbella Verde, Gremlin as he's known around the stables, has been an elite show jumping horse. In fact, competed in the 3-day eventing field for a number of years with Talara. She's ridden right through to 4-star. So she has just those 2 fences that need rebuilding at this stage. $71.88 the time taken, 71.88 the 2 rails down, 8 jumping penalties, no time penalties, a total of 8 for Talara Cameron and Copperbella Verde. As we now welcome out the current Australian show jumping champion. She won that down at Bonio Park in November last year. She's been to New Zealand competing this year already and now returned from there, and her first show back in Australia since then, here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Owned by the Douglas family and ridden by our current Australian show jumping champion. This is Amber Fuller, and she rides CP Arantino. One of many riders I know would certainly be having a long-term vision, potentially representing Australia at Tokyo in 2020. She comes from Chatham Park, trains with George Sanna. And this beautiful combination certainly just chipped away and been what we'd call a quiet achiever. Amber won the 2017 New South Wales state title. She then went on to win the 2018 Australian Championship. First day out, CP Arantino, certainly looking fresh. And coming out of Chatham Park, you know that these horses will be prepped to the absolute perfection to be here. Arantino certainly saying he's enjoying being out here in the main arena. Little kick up between fences. Now our judge, Mr. Honar Yu, international judge from Singapore, he judges just whether a horse jumps a fence cleanly or knocks the fence down. Jumps it cleanly, they give them a tick. They give them a 0 score. Knock it down, they give them the 4. So the presentation, how the horse travels across the ground, how the rider controls the horse, all of that in show jumping is irrelevant. It's one of the few equestrian sports that is, I suppose you say, has very little in a judge's opinion. Safely on the last. Second place, 68.83, 0.23 of a second slower than Chris Chugg. So that'll put her into second place. P.S. Levelinski and Chris Chugg sit in the lead, 68.60. Amber Fuller slots herself in between Chris and Russell into second place, 68.83, and all clear. Well, next out into the arena, we welcome the next of our riders, current New South Wales show jumping champion, former Australian show jumping champion. This is Tom McDermott. He rides the beautiful mare, Elegance de la Chamille, and he comes to us from Mulgoa, out here in Western Sydney. He and his family run their business out of Fern Hill, which is a beautiful, historically listed property out there on the banks of the Nepean River. And Tom McDermott, born and bred at Wagga Wagga. Father, an Olympian in the sport of show jumping, Greg McDermott. Tom certainly been a very successful competitor. He's won the junior leading rider here. He's been the leading young rider here. He's won World Cup qualifiers. He was named the FEI Rising Star internationally many years ago. And look at that. Rolls on round to fence number 9. He's here for a good time, not a long time. Time to beat. 68.60. 68.60 is the time to beat. One fence left to go. New leader in the competition, 61.83, 61.83. He is 7 seconds quicker than Chris Chugg, 7 seconds quicker. And the time there, 61.86. 61.86. Just making sure everyone's listening to me next door. And all clear. That puts him into first place. Chris into second, and Gabby now into third. Russell Johnson now into fourth. So 4 clear rounds. What a way to kick off show jumping here for our open sections at the Sydney Royal Easter Show 2019. As we welcome out now the next of our riders, number 8 in the draw. Great mate of mine, born and bred at Mackay in North Queensland. Now based at Chatham Park, and she rides another horse nominated by the Douglas family and ridden by Kate Hinchin. This combination, what a dynamic duo they are. Came together a few years ago now. This horse recently being acquired, but the rider staying the same, Kate Hinchin. And credit where credit's due, she has certainly grown as a junior and young rider. She came out of North Queensland, and boy, could she ride quick. Since moving to Chatham Park, though, not only can she ride quick, she also rides with wealth of knowledge well beyond her years. Kate Hinchin, our rider on course, riding Finch Farm Cadell. So the time to beat of Tom McDermott. It's going to take a miracle, I believe, to beat that. That was a very quick round, 61.86 on day 1. Anything is possible in this sport. And what a great day here for show jumping. Always get excited when we get to watch Group 1. This is the best of the best. Kate Hinchin comes down to the final fence. Just the one rail down, 4 jumping penalties, 68.08. The rail coming down at the Lighthouse fence, 4 jumping penalties, 68.08, 68.08. 4 jumping, no time, and that will rank her into 5th place at this stage. So we now welcome out the next of our riders, Gabrielle Cooner. Her fiancé, Chris Chugg, is currently sitting in 2nd place. And she rides the beautiful Flare, an imported warm blood mare. It's her first year competing this mare in the Group A Section 1. Gabby and Chris produced the beautiful mare, Crystalline, that's now on the American team. And I do believe we'll be at Tokyo, all going to plan, representing America. Competed here at Sydney Royal. And Werner Deeg said that year, that is one of the best horses in the world. Well, it was sold. And credit to Chris and Gabby for a very sizable amount of money. And I thought Gabby had probably done a day. I thought that was the best horse she'd ever owned. Then she brought this horse back to the country as a 5-year-old. And Chris and Gabby have an amazing eye for picking horses out of Europe. And this horse certainly got the ability to be representing Australia on the international stage in the years to come. Relatively green at this level, this horse, but this rider certainly makes up for that lack of experience the horse may have. Nicely through the first half of the course. 3 fences, 4 efforts left to go. Not going to trouble Tom McDermott. He was home already at a 61.86, but 2 fences. Can she jump a clear round and put herself into the top 5? Safely on the last, 68.58, 68.58. No jumping penalties, no time penalties, and all clear. So that'll put her into second place. She's actually just quicker than Chuggy, 0.02 of a second quicker than Chris. So that puts her into second place. She deceivingly quick, that horse, quicker than I thought. For Gabby and Flair, 68.58 and into second place. So that means Chris goes into third, Amber into fourth, with Russell Johnson now into fifth place as we welcome out the current Queensland show jumping champion, having won that title at the Toowoomba Royal Show. This is Brooke Langbecker, and she is riding Quintago 1. So all clear so far. Brooke Langbecker, she trains with Tom McDermott. It was great to see her little sister Emma here the other day. Came down to watch Winx run in its final race. Embrook Stables at Bow Desert produces show jumpers and racehorses. Unfortunately, draws a rail at the second last fence, safely on the last. 68.03, time was good enough for second place. 68.03, rail down, that'll relegate her to sixth. 5 clear rounds. So even though her time is quicker than all bar Tom's, that rail down proving a little costly. 68.03 for jumping. No time. A total of 4 for Quintago 1 and Brooke Langbecker. Well, he represented Australia on this horse in America last year at the World Equestrian Games, where he finished in the top 30 in the world. That horse has been brought back to Australia. He's been an elite show jumping rider for many years. Born and bred in Warrnambool in Victoria, and now based at Ebenezer with his wife. This is Jamie Kermond out of the Yandu stables, and he rides Napa, as he's known around the stables. Yandu Oaks Constellation, and this horse is a real chance to go back to Tokyo in 2020. He has been a top competitor. And as you do that, Kermo, maybe just a little off at the first fence, has a rail down. And that is show jumping, but I know what Kermo will be doing. He'll be setting himself up for day number 5, the Grand Prix day here. That's when the real money comes out. And that's when we'll see a serious 2-round competition. And it'll be all part of Kermo's plan. Comes down to the final fence, safely over the last. 76.83, 2 rails down. First and second fence, 8 jumping penalties. No time penalties, a total of 8 for Jamie Kermond and Yandu Oaks Constellation. Well, next out into the arena, we now welcome Clint Beresford, his second appearance in this class. This time he rides Jason as he's known around the stables. Emmaville Jitterbug, side by Junebug, bred by Grant and Heather Hughes of Emmaville Performance Horses, owned by Warren, Jenny, Danielle and Clint Beresford, and ridden by Clinton, a farrier by trade. Well, I think if you ask Clint these days, you'd say he's a show jumping professional, coach, and sometime part-time farrier. I might get in trouble for that. So the time to beat, 61.86, 61.86. Emmaville Jitterbug, Jason, he's quick in the air. Doesn't waste a moment of time. Now, horses can't jump out of a flat gallop, so they need to... Safely over the last. Just the one rail down. 4 jumping penalties. 66.10. Time was quick enough for second place. 66.10. 66.10. But that rail down. 4 jumping. No time, a total of 4. Well, we'll just take a very short hold here while we wait for the next of our competitors. Gabrielle Kuna will be last out, and she is riding Sierra Casiago. So she's had a quick turnaround, seeing she only rode Flair in number 9. So the process goes that they warm up out the back. If you're ever walking down near the Schmidt Arena, you'll see there's a big indoor arena down there. And there are fences down there, and we have our FEI stewards and RAS stewards down there, Mr. James Kelly and Mr. Simon Barry. And they check that the horses and riders are warming up correctly. And horses will warm up, and then they'll make their way up through the tunnel. They'll appear in that chute that you can see where Clint is just leaving at the moment, and they'll come out here into the arena. The first time the horses see this arena is when they come out here today, very much so. They can have a quick trot around until the judge rings the bell. From there, they have 45 seconds in which to commence their round, and they start jumping. So there's no way you can show the horses every one of these fences prior to commencement. The riders came out and they walked the course, so they know exactly where they need to go and what they need to do. But the horses, they've got to trust their rider to get them there. Gabby, well, she'll quickly change her gear. She'll hop off one horse. She'll hand that to one of her support crew, and they'll go and cool that horse down. When she comes out, we'll then get underway. The time to beat, she's got a mammoth of a task. Tom McDermott was like a cat on a hot tin roof here this afternoon. Went around that course in a time 61.86. He currently sits in first place. Gabby Kuna currently sitting in second. Chris Chugg, Peter Levelinski in third. Amber Fuller, CP Arantino in fourth. And Russell Johnson and Dupree sitting in fifth. All those 5 have jumped clear. And we now welcome Gabby out. So to win the class, pretty simple, Gabby. Just jump clear, quicker than a time. 61.86 from North Richmond. We welcome out next of our riders. And she rides Sierra Casiago. Gabrielle Cunha, Sierra Casiago. All clear through the first part of the course. 3 fences left to go, and that rail at 10A falls to the ground. 4 jumping penalties, so that means that Tom McDermott will take the win. Safely on the last, stops the clock, 72.48, 72.48. We'll have the official results, but well done, Tom McDermott. Elegance de la Chamille takes the win here this afternoon. And looks like Gabri Cunha in second, Chris Chugg in third, Amber Fuller in fourth, and Russell Johnson in fifth place for class number 856, the Section 1 jumping competition, table A2, 1 round against the clock. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we make the way down here for the presentation of the Bob Chittick Memorial Perpetual Trophy and the Group A Section 1 Group A competition. This is class number 856, and congratulations to our winner, Tom McDermott, riding Elegance de la Chamille. He was the quickest time by some 7 seconds today. He certainly didn't muck around about winning it. Well done to Tom McDermott and Elegance de la Chamille. Second place, congratulations to Gabrielle Cooner and Flair, 68.58 to be in second place. Third place going to her fiance. Good to see he was a gentleman today and let Gabby be in front. No, I think she actually just taught him how to ride in Chris Chugg riding PSS Livelinsky. Fourth place going to Amber Fuller, the current Australian show jumping champion on CP Arantino. And fifth place going to Russell Johnson and Dupreece. While the presentation taking place by Mr. Ho Na Yu, we'll talk in here and we'll come down, talk to our second place getter. Great to see you taught the old boy how to ride today. You've got one up on him.
It doesn't happen very often, Tim, so I'm pretty stoked. Tom was just too good today. He's always on form at this show, and he's always very competitive and speedy, so he's always one to catch. So well done, Tom. And well done to everyone else in the class and the organisers of the show, Mr. Ho, and yourself for doing such a nice commentary job.
I'll come back and talk to you if you keep giving us compliments like that. Well done. Congratulations to our runner-up. And we will have another presentation, but while we wait for it, Tom McDermott, you won this class here last year. You win it again this year. Well done.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, no, I'm really happy with Chamille. She's such a great horse. And I always like coming back to this show. It's always great courses and such good ground and such a good competition. And then it's good to start the show off with a win.
Mate, we're now going to ask Mr. David Chittick to make the Bob Chittick Memorial Perpetual Trophy to the owner of this competition. And well done to Tom McDermott. He won it in 2018. He wins it again in 2019. The Bob Chittick Memorial Perpetual Trophy, first awarded in 1959, and it was donated by the Fieldings family. Mr. Bob Chittick was a very successful rider down on the south coast of New South Wales. A distant relative is one of our stewards here of the show jumping fraternity, and this is David Chittick making the presentation, as we said, awarded in 2018 to Tom McDermott. So if you could just tell me who won it is. So in 2017, it was won by Jamie Kermond and Yandu Oaks Constellation. And in 2016, went to Clem Smith with Gurus. So nice to see. Tom puts his name on the board 2 times in the last 2 years. He wins it in 2018. He wins it in 2019. We are set, ladies and gentlemen, for an amazing series of competitions with our Group A Section 1. There are 13 very talented horses in this class. We'll lead them off now with our green coat as they come along. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. He's one of the best show jumpers in the country. In fact, a lineup there of elite show jumpers as they come past. Please put your hands together and well done to Tom McDermott. Elegance de la Chamille taking the win here for the Bob Chittick Memorial Perpetual Trophy on night number 1 for our open show jumpers.